of clearing land here on the homestead lately, and this is no different today. I actually had a big pile of rocks and stuff back here by these maples that I had flagged, and just wanted to get those cleared up. Got that stuff moved. It's super wet from the rain, and I mean fall time is just pretty wet around here either way, but did get those cleaned up. Get a little bit more of this brush here. This mound that I'm standing on, walk down a little bit. If you're familiar with the homestead here, you know, you've got the bigger pond over here, the smaller one right behind me. When they dug this pond, they actually just took the dirt from here, piled it up here, which is, again, tough to see because I'm so close to it, and I can't get much further without going in the pond. But this mound, I wanted to get this moved out of here. The tractor just, it won't. I cut down, it was covered in walnut trees. There's a stump, there's one, right there's one, a couple more right behind it, just all through here. I did get those cut down. It was just so closed off from the rest of the yard. Back up there, you can see the roof of the cabin, and that's the trail that goes back to the cabin. Well, this area here is open. We cleared that out a couple years ago, and I want to use that for more garden space. It's one of the few areas that's actually above, it's kind of opened up. There's not much of a canopy from the trees, so it's good. We're going to try to do maybe some blackberries back there. But I've got this section in the center, which until earlier today, you kind of see how this is all brush right here. That came down this line and went around. You can tell where the grass stops and the leaves and the dirt start. So I was able to, now that it's winter, stuff's dying off. So I was able to get in there with the tractor, push that all up in there, kind of consolidate it a little bit. This mess here, the previous owner told us this was like a tree house or something. It's since collapsed, and now it's just a pile of old rotten wood, and then with this brush. So my intentions are to clear this out completely and just have from the trail that goes back to the cabin and this area over here, basically from the back of the pond, have this all opened up through here. And I've right now got that done for the most part, with the exception of this mess right in the center. Take you up here and see this is all cleared out. Right there's the cabin. It's got a little bit of stuff right in here, just right up that hill to the cabin, and then here's the other side of that pile where we were just standing. It does have some wild blackberries in it already, but you can't get to them because they're so covered with everything else. Again, a couple of walnut trees. But yeah, I'd like to get this cleared out and just have this whole area here opened up to right here. I started pushing some dirt. I did get that broke off tree pulled up there, but I started pushing some dirt. This is kind of a big high spot right here. It would actually cause the water, rather than to drain down, there's sort of this little ravine through here that goes all the way down back from a spring back in the woods, and down through here and feeds into the big pond right in here. So trying to help the water drain down this way, I'm gonna have to go back in by hand and kind of shove those off the edge, or the water's just gonna sit there. But I can't go much further with the tractor, or I'll actually go down the hill. So, but yeah, so really we're pretty close. This is again that open area where I talked about putting blackberries, and then obviously right here we're open. We need to clear out this center area here, and then that big bunch of stuff down that way. So I think the best way to handle that is gonna be fire. It's just too labor intensive to try to come in here, cut all this stuff out. I mean, you see what you're looking at here, and these aren't very friendly. As you can see, that's what these are all covered in, those thorns. So not much you can do except hope to clean them out slowly with fire. Though that kind of stuff actually burns super quick. It'll just disappear, 15 minutes or so. That stuff will go away. And then this bigger stuff, cut it up a little bit and just keep burning until I get to where I can get to these trees. They're covered in vines and just a mess, and we don't need any more trees. So these are gonna go, and then I've got this pile here. We've just got piles of stuff everywhere. There's this pile of dirt here, dirt and rocks. It's piled up all along this side. The previous owners they would dig and just leave stuff everywhere. So it's been so far 7 years of cleanup, and we've really just scratched the surface. This that they dug, see, we're basically at the base of a hill. Actually, that area over there is further down, but the water runs off toward us. So their intentions with this was to collect the runoff from these areas around here. This actually goes down, around, back up that way to the other wet spot that I'm clearing on the east side of the property. There's another video about that. But that's basically where all this water comes from. They had hoped that the water would come in here, drain underneath this little makeshift bridge into this pond, which this time of the year gets pretty dry. But you can see there's like an 8 or 10 inch PVC right here. It was supposed to go through there, drain into this pond. I'll take you over here and show you real quick. There's another drain over here on this side. A bit overgrown. It would come out that drain into this larger pond. And then on the other side there's another drain. It would spill down into, you can't really tell, but you can kind of see a little bit of it here. Huge pond on that side. So they tried to get the water to come off of the hill where it would run off and eventually make it over there to that much larger pond. The issue is it's uphill from there. So water, as most of you will probably know, has a hard time running uphill. So they had good intentions. It just really serves no purpose. The only thing it does at this point is, since it is actually uphill, it collects water. It becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and it backs up and runs up to that front east corner that I'm clearing out now and trying to dry up. So we've got to address that at some point, but it's a very big project. So slowly but surely we're working our way toward it. But just thought I'd let you know what I'm working on today. This angle here kind of gives you a good idea of the trail up to the cabin, this trail over to that open area, and then this mess in the center. So that's what I'm focused on trying to get rid of today. I think we'll burn a little bit of it while we've got some time. Maybe bring the saw back here, cut some of the smaller stuff up that I can get to easily, get it out of the way, and it'll make a big difference as far as cleaning this up and kind of opening things up a bit. We really couldn't, when you look out the back door of the house, or the windows in the back of the house, and you couldn't see much. The land, one of the main reasons we bought this property, with all the hills and the rocks and the trees, is really beautiful, but most of this was blocked off. This pond basically had huge trees. This one's coming back. I've got to cut this down. One over here. This was all blocked off, and then you see behind these two big walnuts here, this hillside, that's where we started the video where I was standing, was just covered in trees. So you couldn't see past it. You couldn't see any, you couldn't tell this was here until I cleared out this. So really just trying to open this up, and we've got a lot of property here, but with most of it wooded, we can't use a lot of it. So just trying to open it up more. Every time we take out some trees and a bunch of brush like this, it lets a lot more sunlight in, gives us more space for growing food and different animals, stuff like that. Like These guys are over here doing their job. But just stuff like that. We've got more room, put some more chicken tractors back there. We'll have pigs again here soon. We just need more space. So that's what we got going on. I will, if there's anything worth seeing, I'll set the camera up and show you, but for the most part, just gonna be trying to get this done, and I'll update you guys with what we end up getting done. All right, guys. Well, still back here. It's not burning as great as I had hoped. We had a lot of rain a couple days ago, but that pile of brush that was like this one here, right in here, it caught pretty good and it's still going. This wood, it's finally starting to go a little bit. I cut some of it up into smaller pieces. Got a pretty decent fire going there. I think this stuff is finally starting to catch. It catches, then it goes out, then I get it going again. And if we can get all this going here, which is mostly lumber, kiln-dried lumber, where it was 30 years ago, if I can get a good fire going in there, I can push the rest of this into it. So that's the plan as of right now. Got the stuff cut out of here, the smaller stuff. Once the fire gets going big, a little bit better, I'll try to get these medium-sized ones, just throw them right in. And then gonna be a lot of raking, a lot of sticks all around. I can rake into the center, but really this is you can kind of see right here, the outline of the edge of this. It's kind of a dug down kind of scenario here. So if we can get everything burnt, pushed to the center, kind of leveled off, it'll really open this up. And then I can take some of this high spot, push it down into here, and level this all out. I have a nice big area in here. I would say all in, this is probably, at the back of it right there, probably 80 feet across, and probably 80 feet front to back as well. So pretty decent area here, grow some stuff. So I don't know, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna keep at it. It's what time is it? It's almost 4 o'clock, so got a couple more hours of daylight still. So we'll see what we can get done, and I'll bring you back soon. Well, it's getting close to dark now, so I'm gonna call it for the day. This is how much we got done in just a couple hours. Not too bad. See that spot there is quite a bit smaller than it was. For you, when you see this video, it'll just be a few seconds, but a couple hours here for me. But this pile of dirt that was all around this area, I got that down as best I could. Very rocky just under the soil and lots of tree roots, so still much better. It's gone for the most part. Pretty much leveled out through there. Some big rocks still, and then this, got this smoothed out. Took most of that dirt pile and put in that low spot that was in here. So basically built that up a good bit right there, and then up the hill where some of that brush is still kind of smoldering there. It never did quite catch, so we're gonna have to deal with that at a later date. But you can see here, it's hard to tell depth on the camera, but this is where I dumped some of the dirt, where I built it up. Down in here versus right here where I'm standing is probably close to 20 inches, maybe 2 feet difference. So, and then obviously this is going, well, I guess it's not very obvious on the camera, but this is going uphill toward the cabin. So this will just taper off as I add more here. It'll slowly get less until I get back into the grade again. Just got a little bit, this right here is pretty much even. Got a little hole right here. And then pretty much where the fire is going still, this stuff has just been smoldering the whole time. It's still going really well. I'm sure it'll still be burning tomorrow, but I got it all packed in there pretty tight from both sides with the tractor. So we'll just let that burn. Really no danger of anything happening back here. It's surrounded by wet grass and mud, and everything's soaked. So Got some of these bigger ones that were all the way out to here. I don't know if I showed you that before, but they're smashed in there. So really, I'm left with this little bit of brush here, which is not an issue. I'm gonna have to do it by hand because it's just too wet to drive through here with that being on a hill like that. I can't quite get down there. But so just this little bit of brush here, and then that little cluster of 4 trees right there, which I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with just yet. And then these 2 trees right here, which those are gonna come out for sure. So yeah, quite a bit of progress into getting this opened up. Should be a great little area to do something with come spring. But yeah, pretty happy with what we got done today so far. It's tough making a ton of progress on days like this when there's not a lot of time left in the day and it gets dark so early, but yeah, pretty pleased with where we're at. So I'm gonna call it quits for the day here. Go ahead and get this video put up for you guys, and we'll be back out here hopefully tomorrow if the weather allows. Got some stuff to do back at the cabin back there, and we'll probably keep going on this a little bit too. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, see how this turns out.